possible. Can you imagine? Like, I'm coming out of the water thinking like, oh, everything's fine. And then I see a panic and people swimming towards me. And I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the 1357 podcast. My name is Morgan Young, and I'm so grateful you've tuned in to yet another episode. And we have a super special guest today, so I cannot wait to introduce you. A little bit about the 1357 podcast before we get started, just to remind you. 1357 is what we would chant as a cheerleader, because I was a cheerleader for 20 years. So in the pyramid, we would all chant 1, 3, 5, 7 as a way to keep us all in sync and motivated, pushing through the end of that pyramid. And that's what I want to do for you guys as well. Keep you guys motivated, keep you in sync with your goals, in sync with your best self, and pushing through your pyramid of your life. And the structure of 1357, we have 1 miracle moment, 3 questions, 5 tips, and a 7-minute chit chat. So without further ado, I have to introduce you to my best friend, my roommate, my ride or die, my mentor, Rebecca White. Burr, 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 burr.
Burr, 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 burr. Hello, it's me.
The queen bee.
Aw, you're my queen bee.
In my world, you're my queen bee.
We're the queen of this cool household.
This is true.
Yeah.
And she is the one who has made this house a home, living with me. She's been living with me over a year now.
I'm a nester.
And we live so well together.
We had our 1-year roommate anniversary in July.
Yeah. Oh, so special. I can't believe we made it this far.
I know. Good communication, guys. That's what it's all about. It's how to make a relationship work.
Honestly, that should have been one of our questions.
This is true. We'll fuse it in there.
Okay, we'll weave that.
I think you guys are going to learn a lot today.
Yes. Yeah, this girl is so wise. She's been through so much and overcome so much in her life. And she has taught me, I mean, honestly, she's really changed and transformed my life since moving in with me. Yes, absolutely. Since we've become best friends about 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I say 6, sometimes I say 8. It's
been a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, poll. So 6.5, 7 years.
Yeah. And I was just reminiscing this morning about whenever I would go over to your house and we'd have coffee together, and it was just a very special time for us to get to know each other. So we made coffee this morning.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Sunshine.
With our little sunshine mugs. Mine says cup of sunshine. Hers says bless this home with sunshine.
Yeah. And we were singing I Got Sunshine all morning already.
Yes. Let's take a sip.
Great coffee, Morgan. It makes me happy when you make me coffee.
So good.
Yeah.
And we're both drinking pumpkin spice.
Yeah, we're ready for fall.
Yeah, it's August.
Happy August
20th. And we're already in fall.
Yes. Yeah, it's steal your boyfriend's hoodie season.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a boyfriend, but I'll steal your boyfriend's hoodie.
You can take Joey's hoodie. That's fine.
You see me wearing them, that's why.
Permission granted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like to hop right in.
Okay.
Miracle moment, hit us.
Okay, so I hope you don't mind, but I kind of have 2.
I mind.
It's very organized. But they're 2, one quickie, one's more fun. But a miracle moment in my life was when I was adopted. Mm-hmm. And, I was born and raised kind of in a crazy, wild situation of abuse. But we were adopted by my aunt and uncle when we were 7. And I didn't appreciate it at all. It was like I went from having no rules and this wild, crazy lifestyle to then now I'm in a home where I have to go to church. I have to get up at 6 a.m. and actually make it to school on time. I have to wear like skirts to public or private school. And I didn't appreciate it. But of course, as I got older, I realized that if I had never been adopted by my aunt and uncle, I would have most likely ended up as trailer park trash. And and maybe not. I was always a fighter as a young girl, but that was my destiny. And I feel like that was one of the most miraculous stories I could ever tell, is the fact that they fought for us and they took us from that situation. And I don't have children for a reason. I knew when I was 19 I didn't want children. And so for people who adopt kids, not only are they they're loving children, but they are loving somebody else's children. And so I just think it's a miracle that they were willing to take me and my brother on. And we were crazy. Like, we tortured them. We were on a mission to torture these.
How'd you torture them?
I mean, I would never want to wake up. I mean, they had to come in with squirt guns to get me up, or I would just cry and I just wouldn't eat. I rebelled against everything in that household. So anything my mom and I were I'm this bright, bubbly, like, woo! And she's this very, strict, logical workaholic, and we just didn't get along. But either way, it was a miracle. I feel very blessed and I tell her all the time, every time I talk to her, I'm like, thank you for adopting me. She got me braces. She put me in nice schools. Yeah. They gave me, I had to clean a lot. I was a little Cinderella, but now I'm clean. I have a very nice standard because of that household. So that's one. And so that's a miracle. And then the other one I wanted to throw in there because it was the first thing that popped in my head. And I can't help but know that it was a miracle, but it's a Jenny Springs trip. And I would go to Jenny Springs back in my party days, and they always have the big parties. And one year I went, and you climb the tree and you jump off into the water or the rope swing or whatever. And we all jumped to the right. And, I was drunk. We got pretty wasted. Well, I was not paying attention. I'm just cocky and drunk. I was very drunk this next year that I went. Well, I guess when they rigged up the rope, everybody was jumping off the other side of the tree. I didn't notice that. Apparently, I was just young and dumb. And so I climb. I do my little, like, woo, look at me, to all the people floating by. And I jump on the same side as last year. And so I end up in the water, and when I pop out of the water, I see the whole river swimming towards me as fast as possible. Can you imagine? Like, I'm coming out of the water thinking like, oh, everything's fine. And then I see a panic and people swimming towards me. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then a tree, where am I? I feel like this big branch hitting me in my arm. And I've realized that there's a whole tree with branches and roots and everything right there. So if I was just this far over, I would have been impaled. Like, there was just and the whole river saw it, and they were like, you're so lucky to be alive. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
I mean, I have goosebumps all over my body right now. And I was so drunk, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, I'm the coolest, but of course you get away from a situation like that, and people die at Jenny Springs in these moments all the time. And I was like, wow, I escaped death. And so that's always kind of been like a moment I'll remember.
That's a miracle.
And it's a miracle.
I'm so glad you were not impaled at Jenny Springs.
Yeah. I mean, what a cool way to die, but
a little traumatic for those attending, but
yeah. I lived to tell. That was definitely one of my 9 lives.
But if you were impaled, at least it would be entertaining to those around.
I guess I'm here for it. Are you not entertained?
Oh my!
That would have been my last words. I would have a stick shoving through my body, and I would have been like, "Are you entertained?" It was like
your last words. Oh my goodness! So we have sometimes a very dark sense of humor.
Most of the time, yeah.
Because we're so light, we have to have contrast with a dark sense of humor.
I believe in the dark. We believe in the dark.
The contrast of life, duality.
That's been the coolest thing about living with you, Morgan, is you have coached me and guided me to really appreciate. I mean, I was already in the, experience of appreciating contrast, but to do it in front of others. And you have nurtured me into realizing that I don't have to be this bright light to everyone all the freaking time, and that it's healthy to express my hurt in a way. Vulnerability. And you have been the ease in my life for that. Like, I start to cry and then I start to suppress it, and you're like, it's okay. And she creates a safe container for me to be that way. Or even the reminders when you hear me talk about, certain things, and I downplay the negative to ease myself or to ease others, or kind of even make myself look like I'm
so strong
and unnecessarily strong. I love being strong. I like being that fighter girl, but at the same time, I'm realizing strength. There's a lot of strength and vulnerability, and you have helped me a lot with that.
I'm really glad that I have been able to do that for you.
It's so great. It's really
Can
great.
I tell that story of that one time?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even know what the one time is, but yes, I'm here for this. Go.
Well, there was that, just to give more context to what we're talking about, there was one time where she was talking to friends of ours in the kitchen, and she was saying, oh yeah, I had some hard moments, but my moments weren't that hard because, you know, when I cry, I don't cry that much, or it's not that, you know, you downplayed it super heavy in front of the people. And I pulled you aside a little bit later, and I was like, you know, you don't have to downplay it, because what it does for the people in the room is it says you're not allowed to have big emotions.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have really hard, heavy cries or take longer than a day to get over something. No, you do have permission to feel all your feelings. You do have permission to grieve in your own timeline. There is no right way to process emotions, trauma, or heal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love those little reminders because, you know, and that's why I give those reminders. And in reality, in my reality, anybody is allowed to be that way with me, but with my own self, no, it's not okay. I need to be strong. I need to make sure I'm here for these people, which I actually did that breath work recently and saw my little baby Becca's, and I went back to my childhood for the first time, and then I saw my little brother, and when I kind of saw the way he was treated in comparison to the way I was treated, I saw why I am that way. And that was a miracle too, by the way, because now I'm like, oh, okay, I see why I'm such a heavy nurturer. It's because I had to be that way in my mind as a little girl for him. And so now I'm a crazy nurturer, and I can't have emotions. I need to be strong. I need to be, you know, a mama bear and protect everybody. But I didn't know where that was rooted from until I just did the breath work recently. And it was amazing to see that. And I kind of came out of that and I was like, wow, that's why I am the way that I am.
The power of breath work, honestly.
So cool.
It's a game changer.
Shout out to Watali. I hope I'm saying it right, but it was amazing.
Watali?
Watali?
Yeah.
Okay, Watali.
I don't know him, so.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram.
Watali. All right, let's hop right into 3 questions.
Okay. Fun.
So, I would like to know, what do you want to be known for in this life?
Ooh, I like this one.
It's a deep one.
So I want to be known for relief and fun. I feel like it's a lot of the rebellion that I've had in my life was against norms, and a lot of the norms, in my opinion, are very rooted in judgment. And don't get me wrong, I'm very judgmental, but when it comes to my role on earth, I do step into the role with a non-judgmental view to relieve others. I can explain that a little better. For example, if I'm in a restaurant and, you know, God gave me this attunement to the nurturing others, you know, I'm an extreme nurturer, and so I can't help but nurture the person in front of me, but also nurture the server that's coming over to the table. And I did serve for a long time too, so of course I have a relationship there, but it's like they come over, I'm instantly trying to read them to try to relieve them of whatever they could possibly be going through. And it's like, if I can just say something right in the beginning or right off the bat, like, hey, we're really cool, don't worry, you know, we're going to tip you well. Like, it's just a relief. And there's just examples where it's throughout your day, you know, you show up to go get your driver's license renewed or something, and you're standing there and you're in the presence of all these people who are like, so I might go in and I crack a big smile, or I flirt with somebody, or I throw a little love out there, or, you know, it's my job on this earth to lighten up a room and make these dreary people. And then I don't get affected by, you know, they could throw me out and I'll be fine, because it's like, I'm here for this. Like, so I feel like this is my duty. It's my job on this earth is to, and I'll rebel against anyone who challenges me. And I don't mind being that warrior, because if somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, you're not supposed to laugh at a funeral, I will sit down and explain very, very, very detailed. And I will take the time to be like, I'm not laughing at a funeral. I am appreciating the fact that I don't have to be sad. There's a big difference, and I will do a little rebellion there. And so I hope I explained that right, or in a good way, but it's kind of like, I feel like that is my duty on this earth, to relieve people of thinking that they are bad or wrong. And I want to get with people and show them what is the best parts of them, and then nurture it in a way, and worldwide, like everywhere I go. Like if I travel to another country and I just come across people, it's instantaneous. I'm going to start like figuring them out and how I can relieve them from anything they're going through, which is sometimes a problem in my life because it instantly assumes that they have a problem. And I'm like, I will find your problem and I will heal you.
I will relieve you immediately.
I will relieve you. So I've learned to, not just like run in there with that, but at the same time, it's just what I really, truly believe. I want to be on this earth forever. I want people to look at me and say, you know what, Becca was a relief in my life and she made me feel like I could do it.
You've done that for me.
Aww,
that's for sure.
Thanks.
And also, you've taught me about seeing others' excellence.
Yeah, so important.
Looking and seeking out the excellence of others, and not just looking at other people as, another person to market your business to.
Right.
No, like everyone has excellence within them.
Yeah.
Go find it.
Yeah. Seek it out.
It's exciting to go love on people and find that within them. So thank you. You've helped me so much developing my friendships and cultivating a community that's loving, nurturing, supporting, and fun. Yes.
Yay, I love that.
Me too.
Yeah, it really is important. Human connection is definitely top of the list for me. And I'm not the best at it. I have messed up a lot of relationships, but I don't stop trying. So I'm willing to lose a bunch to gain a bunch. So sorry to those who are out, but you're out.
Yeah. I like to say our relationships are like a garden. And sometimes there's weeds, and you have to pull the weeds in order to make room for new blossoming growth and flowers in your friendships. Yeah. So, and your garden's perfect no matter what kind of flowers you have in it.
Right. Sometimes I stomp on those weeds. Just had to be cruel for a minute there.
Let it out. Okay, so on your business card, it has a few different things, but one of the things I really like on there is it says atmosphere extraordinaire.
Yes.
That's how. Okay, first of all, how did you come up with that? And then what does that mean to you?
I would love to explain this. Okay. Because it's complicated. I'm really, January I was really honed in on figuring out my preferences and who I am, and, writing my identity letter and figuring out what I wanted for myself. And so my business card actually was more of a leap of discovering myself. I didn't really make the business card to sling out necessarily, even though that was a sideline goal with it. But I just wanted to put like what my true excellences are on a card, and then I actually stuck it to my bathroom mirror, and it's worked because that is truly who I am. But the part where it says atmosphere extraordinaire is because I couldn't really define my energy. Like, what am I? What are you, Becca? And I'm energy. Like, I get called upon for I get phone calls weekly, and people are like, oh, I just need you. Or then it's like, oh, I could create a pole energy and create an atmosphere around the pole. Or I could create a huge party. Or I can do a 10-person baby shower and create an energetic, and I'm good at it. I'm very good at creating atmosphere and energy within many different circumstances. And so it's kind of like, how do you pinpoint what I am energetically? And so I was like, I'm an atmosphere extraordinaire. I'm pretty sure I even chat GPT like energy and all the things, and those are the two words that came together, and I just really love it. So I don't know if it's being used, but I do feel like I don't want to limit I'm an event.
All of who you are and all that you bring to the table, because it's so much.
Yeah, I'm not just an event planner.
No.
I can go to a dinner with you if you feel, anxious. You'd bring me along. I'm your emotional support puppy. It's like all about the energy. How would you explain atmosphere extraordinaire?
Well, you're right. Like every room you walk into, you bring life to it. So it can be as simple as you showing up to an event, you moving around a little bit of furniture, because when you rearrange, you move energy.
Yes.
Tell about how you like to rearrange.
I can't stop rearranging. They in psychology or in the spiritual world, they say, find what you do best and do it. And you're doing it every day anyways. And I cannot. I wake up every day and I rearrange. And so maybe I'm supposed to be in the rearranging business, but I go to parties and my brain instantly rearranges whatever it needs to rearrange in order to create the atmosphere to be the best atmosphere for how we can have the most fun. It's instantaneous. My brain does it. So if anybody knows how I can make money off this gift that I have,
let us know in the comments.
Please let us know in the comments. I will rearrange anything. And sometimes it's just like one chair. And if I'm like, I know if I just move that over there, the whole place will be better. Or removing a human. Like if I just remove this human, the whole place will be better. And I'm like, you gotta go. So it's just rearranging whatever energy, whatever I need to rearrange. And it does end up a lot of times being fun. And I walk into places and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I rearrange? And people will resist me at first. And it's like, no, trust me.
Yes.
And then I'm the awkward person at a party or even at a dinner. You have a 10 top dinner reservation. I'm like, no, I already know you need to be here. You need to be here. You need to be here. And I can see it all. And that's how it's going to be, the best night for all of us.
Yeah. And I love that. Like whenever I was young, like probably my low 20s, I would.
She's 28 now.
I'm 28. I'll be 29 next month.
She's getting old.
I am. I'm a little old.
Look at that
lady.
wrinkle.
I got one. My disciple group, they said they were messing with me last night because they were saying all these different references and I didn't catch on to like 3 references. I'm the youngest one there.
Yeah.
They got me. They said I look like a woman from the 80s named Bo. I can't remember her last name. Bo something with the braids in my hair.
Have to Google it.
Oh gosh.
Text them and find out later because I want to know.
They pulled up a picture of her
Really?
and I looked just like her. And I was flattered. Bo something, a woman, she was a model.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and I was so honored. I might even throw up a picture right here.
Cool.
To show you guys what I'm talking about. This is Bo. I don't remember her last name, but here she is. Don't I look just like her?
Yes, absolutely. I can see her now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so they were just saying that. Okay, so tangent.
Yes, tangent.
It's hard to do a podcast when you have so many inside jokes.
Oh, I know, right? We're just getting an inside joke this whole thing.
We're going to rabbit hole.
At the end 2 hours, we'll still be here. What are we on? You were saying something cool.
Yeah, we were.
You were responding to the energy, atmosphere, sort of rearranging.
Yes.
You disciple group. Third question.
Well, I just love how I'll come out into my living room and every single day something new has been moved.
Yeah.
A table has been turned at happy hour. Oh,
it's
now I remember what I was saying. I remember what I was saying.
Okay.
So in my younger 20s, I would...
Oh, yeah.
I would feel this sense of competition with other people in my life, especially women.
Right.
And then as I got older, I'm like, wow, no, she has a puzzle piece that I need.
Yeah.
I have a puzzle piece that she needs.
Yes.
And everyone in our community, we all have these amazing, incredible gifts. How can we see each other's excellence, bring them together,
Team.
and all level up?
Yes.
And uplift our community.
Tribe mentality.
It's beautiful.
And it's a focus. You got to focus on it. To create a tribe, you have to be willing to put in the work to discover who you are and find the right people. And that's all my 5 tips. So I'll save that for later.
Okay. So did you have anything else? What else is on your business card other than Atmosphere Extraordinaire? And then I did want you to tell about pole a little bit, because you mentioned pole, but why did you mention pole?
Oh, yeah. I love pole. Obviously, I'm one of the founders of the first pole fitness studios in Jack's Beach. I met this beautiful girl named Lynn Green, and she introduced me to pole. And
Shout out to Lynn. We
love
you.
Yes, we love you. She was a mentor in my life big time. I don't even know if she realizes what an impact and such a turning point that was. But pole was like, I guess, another miracle in my life because I was just working a server job, just a sheep, showing up to serve every day, going out to the bars, drinking. And then pole entered my life and it forced me to make a choice. Do I want to be a fitness instructor and follow that? or do I want to keep just, hanging out in the bars every night? And it was so worth it to me. The studio and Lynn, and she was worth it to me. And so I chose to be a fitness instructor, and then I got certified and I ended up in magazines. And so I don't teach as much these days. I left the studio world. It's a tough world to be in with all the women, especially because I also was one who really pushed against the trust of things. And so I kept everybody out here for a long time. But I still teach. I teach privates from here, and I love to teach pole. I just don't do a lot of it, and I'm willing. And then what was the other part? Oh, and then on my card, I have Reminder Queen, and I remember you told me not to put that on there just because you're like, take that part off, not nonchalantly. And I just thought it was really important because it is something that's important to me too. I like to be reminded. It's actually, I consider it a love language. That's why that day when you said, hey, Becca, did you realize you're saying this? It's not only were you offering me up an awareness or an observation of myself, but it's a reminder. So that's the cool thing about, we've learned each other about reminders. And so we remind each other, reminder to drink water. We are all human. We're all forgetting. I'm constantly forgetting. It doesn't matter how strong, powerful, and cool I look on the outside. I'm screwing up just as much as the next person. And so I need help, and we all need help. And so I try to run this earth and remind people, don't forget you're beautiful. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to, put the toilet seat down, whatever it is.
Don't forget to clock in. Every time I go into a coaching call and I have a client, she always lets me know ahead of time. She's like, don't forget to clock in
with God.
Which means, yes, tap into God, tap in, pray, do whatever you got to do to get into alignment, which is that prayer, meditation, yoga, journaling, listening to something that's inspirational, whatever it is that gets you into alignment. She's like, don't forget to clock in.
And she's an amazing coach, and she's an extra amazing coach because she does that. Like the greatest leaders and influencers, I believe, in the world are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, just like Jesus. He's a very aligned human being. And I think, in that moment, I want that reminder all day, every day. I'm like, so wake up, get into alignment, go love others. That's the goal, right? And so I wake up and I go do things, and now I'm bouncing off earth. I'm bouncing off humans. I'm like, oh, why did this happen to me in my day? And it's like, oh, I forgot to tap in to God's love before I started walking this day. And so I need a reminder every single morning. That's what meditation's about. It's a good reminder to get in alignment. So reminder queen.
And also at Disciple Group last night, we talked about how, and I brought up this analogy of our brain is like a internet browser. And we have all these tabs open. So you have like relationships tab, you have career, finances, recreational hobbies, your
it's like your
health,
of life.
Your wheel of life, which is the pillars of life that I go through in my coaching. And there are all these different tabs. And that's when we get overwhelmed, is you have way too many tabs open, and it slowers your processing system for your browser. And so with all these tabs open, but making sure that Jesus, God, source is your browser that you're searching in. Because if you're searching in just Google Chrome and you're trying to handle all these things, you're not going to have the bandwidth to handle all of the tabs that life has to throw at you. So having Jesus as your processing system and tuning into that before you open up all those tabs of the day is going to help you have the bandwidth for managing the day with grace and ease and peace.
Right. I love that. And that's why I think one of the reasons we get along so well is even sometimes we might use different lingo, but our belief is the same. And so it's easy to remind each other and be there for each other, especially if we're out of alignment. That's when we need each other most. And so it's like, I'm out of alignment. And I know we've talked about this so many times. I even think we talked about it on my podcast, but the Space Love Advice thing, I just think it changes the world. And when I moved in and Morgan offered me up Space Love Advice, it really changed. And even in the beginning of this podcast, when I was talking about how you've changed my life, it's like, I'm in my masculine all the time, and I'm running this earth, and I'm a powerhouse, and then I'm just like, Morgan's like, whoa, what do you need right now? And in my brain, I'm like, I don't need anything, I'm fine. And she's like, no, do you need space, do you need love, or do you need advice? And I'm like, and I stopped, and I would be like, I don't really know. And then most of the time it would be like, love. Yeah.
Hug and 5 deep
Yeah,
breaths.
I'm just like, okay, thank you for grounding me. I didn't even know I was in chaos in that moment. And so it's
And
just,
then once you're grounded, once you have the love, then I can provide the space.
Yeah.
You talk, you vent, you get
Yeah.
it all out.
Yeah.
Once you get it out, you get to work through a lot of that stuff in your brain. The more you work through your own stuff instead of listening to my advice,
right.
the more you start to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And that's you growing. I'm giving you space to be loved and to grow instead of just letting my ego get my 2 cents out there so that I can be feeling good about myself because I'm helpful.
And the indirect part of that, and well, it's direct, but it's something extra that you might not realize is happening, is that I'm being taught to do that to others. And so, I wasn't really always the best listener growing up. I always wanted to shove my opinion in everybody's face, and I'm a big talker, so I just want to talk. But because you gave me that love, I felt it. And I was like, wow, that was really, really life-changing for me. So now I want to go out and offer that love to others. Yay. And I do in my own ways, but not in that way. And that's, I think, a really powerful way to love others, is to give them the space or the love, or just to simply ask them what they need in that moment, or even just to notice. Yeah. Like, that hyper big, bold Becca is a beautiful thing, but you know me well enough to know that when I'm hyper like that, I need a little calming emotional support puppy.
Because you can be hyper and grounded.
Right.
And in alignment.
Yeah.
But then there's that like manic hyper
Yeah.
when it's disconnected from self, but because you're so attuned to everybody else and trying to be the energy for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even know I needed that. But once you gave it to me, I was like, wow, I really needed that. It's like you're my man. She's my
I'm
masculine
containing
container.
you.
We contain each other. We switch roles all the time. She's my platonic wifey.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'm her wifey.
Yes.
She'll be in the yard doing things. I'm like, what you doing? Oh, wait, no, you're the man out there.
Roar.
What are you doing out there, honey?
I'm pulling weeds.
Love it.
I don't know. Okay, do you have any upcoming events that you would like to share?
Yes! September 7th, my birthday.
September 7th.
So I was really inspired to do Lady in Red theme. My birthday's coming up. I've been hosting parties for a long time. I'm an established party planner. However, I never turned it into a business, so I got heavily encouraged by a lot of people to create and make it a business. So I'm kind of like walking on eggshells with that part, because I've never owned a business or ran a business in that way. I mean, I've had my pole business for a long time, but it was a lot easier than what I'm doing now. So I'll admit that this is a big challenge for me, but what's the best way to get through a challenge? Just slap an event on the calendar and go big. And so I have an investor, I have my website, I have a team formed, I have a lot of support. And honestly, for this one, because it's my birthday, and I guess because I've poured so much into the community, there's a lot of people coming together. And so this event, I think, is going to be the best one ever. And maybe sometimes I say that every time, but there's a lot of really good people pulling together to create this event. And so, and a lot of people are doing it for free or at a discounted rate, because it's my birthday and they're just being sweet to me. And so we're getting a lot more entertainment and a lot more provisions.
Well, and you've cultivated these relationships with these people, which is why they're doing that. Like, you are so special. You provide so much value to people in the community that they are so willing to discount their rates at the drop of the hat, because you are very impactful in their lives and in the community.
Right.
You promote businesses like nobody's business.
I do. Like nobody's business. I do. I buy from like 5 different network marketing companies. I think it's really important to buy from your friends. A lot of people fear network marketing. I think that's dumb. I think I should do a whole podcast one day on network marketing.
Amen.
Buy from your friends, you guys. I buy from, hair products from my hair girl. I buy everything I could possibly buy. If I go into a shop, I will try to buy anything. And, it's like me giving all my money away. And at the end of the day, I would like to save some, but no, I don't care. It's not what I'm here on this earth to do. And I think that pouring in others.
You'd spend the money on Amazon anyways, so you might as well support your local
Yeah.
Homepreneur, mompreneur.
Homepreneur.
Yeah, dog mompreneur.
Yeah. Buy from your friends. Buy from everybody. Support everybody. It doesn't take that long if you're scrolling on Instagram to share. If you look at my story, then you'll see that it's just constantly sharing other people's stuff. And I know there's a lot of people out there doing that. That is a normal thing. But to the people who don't really think like that, like start thinking like that. Like that's what the whole wake up, get into alignment and love others is. If you're in alignment, you are thinking about how you can help others because you're not stuck in your head. And so, what are the ways you can help others? Sometimes it's simply in the 20 minutes I allow myself to be on social media, I am pouring in. I'm hitting the likes, I'm hitting the shares, I'm commenting on whoever's stuff. We like those little dopamine hits. When I pull up my Instagram, I see somebody commented, I'm like, oh, they love me. Yes. It's such a simple act to pour into others. And I don't know if that's what's pouring back into me now, but definitely this party coming up, there's a lot of pour in for Becca. I'm open to receiving, and it's going to be big.
It's going to be big. Wait. And the performances.
Oh, yeah. We have a whole show. Yep. Unfortunately, we had to take pole out. The venue is a church, and they kind of like, I told them there's
frown upon pole.
Yeah, and I know they're innocent, and I understand it. I really do. But at the same time, it sucks because it is a portion of who I am and what I do. And I was going to do Lady in Red, the song Lady in Red. Really classy routine and show how pole can be so classy and show that off. But at the same time, I understand. I didn't really think there was still a stigma around it. And I'm almost thinking there's a miscommunication, but babbling on, so there won't be pole, but we have aerial silks, aerial lyra. We have a 10-girl chair dance. And that's actually one of my favorite parts because I will run the city and be like, hey, you want to be in a chair dance? A girl who's never done it before, and they don't really believe that they can do it. And then they come over. I'm just like, trust me, come over for one practice and see. And usually by the end of just one practice, they're like, wow, I can really do this. And then all of a sudden somebody who's never performed is now in a show a month later. And that's really what tickles my fancy about the events. Let me go on that a little bit because I had to hone in on who I am and why I do what I do. And the main reason I love to host parties is because I like to create a platform, a fun, vibrant, like sexy, just the atmosphere for other people to play on. And so my job is to create the space for other people to look their best and promote their best. So if I have a performer that, I have performers that they know the platform is going to be there for them to look good. And so I don't even see some of their routines or see them at all. They show up the day of ready to perform, knowing that the rigging's going to be done, the apparatus is going to be safe, that's going to look good in the background. They're going to have a videographer or a photographer. They're going to be fed. So it's like I create the platform for others to play on. The businesses like Pangea Keto is going to be there. They know they've already done a couple events with us now. They know they're going to show up and the table's already going to have, their area, and they get to set up and they get to display who they are. And it's the most important thing to me is that they shine. And I like that. I get off on that. I'm just like, ooh, how can I make this fun for you?
And I'm so grateful for that too, because I'm missing the adrenaline from cheerleading. I'm missing the platform to perform.
Yeah.
And the audience that, I get to light up because they're lighting up because I'm performing.
Yeah.
It's a give and take of me and the audience and that energy. And I don't get that anymore. I don't get that every Friday night like I used to, or every single weekend for cheerleading competitions. Like, I miss that. Yeah. And this is filling that gap in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. So thank you.
You're welcome. And you're not the only one. Vielka is a belly dancer. She's been doing belly dance for a long time. She got caught up in life, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, we're doing a show. And she's like, oh my God, I've been dying to do a show and I want to put myself back out there. And now that there's a date on the calendar, she's working on her body harder and she's getting her outfits ready. And she's like, I'm going to perform. And then Jordan, for example, she teaches dance. And when you do your passion as your job, you lose a lot of your passion. And so, and even though she's still very passionate about what she's doing, she's pushing on. Now she gets to leave her work world of dance and come into a show of dance. And that's where the vibrancy comes back out in her. So she needs these shows because she wants to bring back that love for dance and do it from a place of not having to
work.
work. Exactly. So I love that. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
So really. Yay!
Oh,
I can't wait to see you chair dance. So yeah, we have a
so
10-girl chair dance.
Yes.
And then the 6 of them peel out, the newbies, and then 4 are left over for more of an advanced routine, and that's our grand finale. And so hope to see you there.
I know, you gotta see the finale. Stick around for it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lots of head tossing.
hit us with your 5 tips. I'm
Ooh,
ready.
okay.
I want to learn.
Okay, 5 tips. I love giving my tips out here. Number 1, take time in your life to figure out who you are and what your preferences in life are.
Okay, cool. Now tip number 2.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
don't take time.
Okay.
I was like, how does this podcast work? What are we on, the 5? Okay.
Okay, say it again.
She got me good. I don't even know.
Go,
Oh. I'll just read them all. Okay. Take time in your life to figure out who you are and what your preferences in life are. Do you want me to go on about it?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm
it's
just
not
still
something
laughing.
we're taught. I know. It's not something we're taught when we're younger. I think nowadays it's, things are shifting, and now we're starting to realize that we need to teach children about emotions and things. I think that's getting out there. But I didn't learn that until the past, 6-7 years of my life. And I didn't take the time in my life to figure out who I was. Mm-hmm. And, if you're a young person right now, it's like, before you go to college, before you commit to a marriage, before you have a baby, before you make these giant life decisions, take a moment and be like, wow, I do prefer this, I don't prefer that. And I know life's not supposed to be that organized. You are supposed to be kind of wild with it, go marry a young boy and see how it turns out, whatever. But at the same time, in the process, figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then that can actually lead to my other tip. Can I just say one other tip? So another tip is surround yourself with people that value your strengths and want to get to know you. Or don't take my time. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, when you figure out what you want or prefer, then you won't hang out with the people that are not in alignment to where you want to go in life. I didn't learn all that, and even now I just went through another round of realizing that I was hanging out with some people that didn't value me. And I know that that's life, it's going to happen, but it's a big epiphany for me last year. It was like, wow, I'm really surrounding myself with a lot of people who I don't really, align with, and I don't prefer this. And so it's like figuring out who you are and then surrounding yourself with the people that will move forward with you.
Question.
Okay.
So a lot of your life, it's been quantity over quality with friends.
Yeah.
You say your house is a revolving door. You let anyone in. And so I think that the past few years, you're like, wait, maybe it is more quality. Realizing that all these people don't really truly deserve your energy the way that you're giving it to them.
Right.
And so it is good that, you are deciding, I only want to surround myself with people who appreciate me and who, see my excellence and appreciate the energy that I pour into these people.
Yep.
Because you don't trickle energy. You're not one of those people who's going to call every 6 months, like me. You text once a week, sending you love, thinking about you. I wrote about you in my journal today.
Yeah. I got a lot of love.
You're a top-notch friend.
I like a love.
And so when you give love, it should be to someone who really deserves it and who is quality and who appreciates it.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. That tip is being around those people, but the main thing is I never took the time in my life to figure that part out about myself. I never stopped and said, why do I nurture so hard to everyone? Why am I sitting at dinner and can hear every single conversation going on at every single table? Why is this person responding to me in this way where, from something I may have done in that self-observation work? And, sometimes it's hard for me to say those things and give that piece of advice because, life's life. But, if I could, I love my life journey, but man, I would have liked to have realized earlier on in life that if you just take a little bit of time to discover who you are, you save a lot of time hanging out with the wrong people and being in the jobs you don't really desire, spending all this money on college for degrees you're not going to use, and just that kind of thing. So I feel like that would be a loving tip for the younger generation.
Because you have to generate that self-awareness, what you do and don't want, and then that's the importance of journaling.
Yeah.
Like, I think, it's not something you should just do before you have a baby. Like, this is something that you should do every single night.
Every day.
Every day before you lay your head on the pillow. Like, okay, what did I love about today? What did I love about myself today? How am I proud of myself? But also, what could have gone better? How could I be a better person tomorrow? What do I want tomorrow? And that self-reflection is so important.
Daily. And you're always changing. So it's like, not like I've sat down and figured out everything I am and now I know. I'm constantly reassessing and observing reality to figure out where I'm at mentally. Yeah.
And I wish I could say that I sit down and journal every night about it. I used to. I went through a huge phase of my life.
Right.
But we all go in waves.
I'll remind you.
Thank you. We all go in waves. So right now, I feel really good about who I am. And I feel really good about how I'm spending my time. And when the day comes where I'm triggered or frustrated, I will go back and pull my journal out and write through my thoughts. Get down to one tab in my mind and flesh that tab out until I feel clear in the decision that I'm going to make, whether it's do this, don't do that, whatever it is.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
That's our belief system too, and that's another reason we get along so well.
Yes. Clarity is everything.
Clarity is everything. Yes, we want clarity on ourselves too. Yeah. Okay, my next tip.
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Are you ready?
Is this tip number 2 or 3?
So I gave you 2. The first one was take time in your life to figure out who you are and what your preferences in life are. And that kind of segued into surround yourself with people that value your strengths and want to get to know you. And this one also is kind of a segue, but it's don't take advice from people that don't have the success you desire. So same concept. It's like, we follow people, this person has this great advice, or like, oh, this person has a version of success, which is sexy. It's like, okay, I might want that. But when you figure out, what you want, then you or somebody comes up to you and is like, oh, hey, you shouldn't do this. And then stop and take a moment and be like, well, is this somebody I want to be like? Is this somebody that I want to take advice from? And like, if I'm giving you advice right now and you can feel it in your body that it's not something that aligns with your life, don't take advice from me. I don't want you to take my advice. I want you to feel your way through it. And I want you to don't take advice. I've given out so much advice. And I look back on my life and I'm like, oh my God, most of what I was giving out, the advice I was giving out in my 20s, I don't even believe this to this day. I'm like, oh my God, I would never do that. Why would anybody take advice from me? And I was passionately saying it and I believed it, and it may work for some people, but that's not. But that's the importance of discernment. So for me, like we are flooded with advice. Every time we open our phones, we have people telling us how we should live our lives. This podcast, we have 5 tips. You can take these tips or you cannot. You can shove them in the trash can. We don't care. I'm not going to shut my mouth just because other people don't resonate with my tips. Right. Because there's people out there that will.
Yes, exactly. And so take what you can, what feels good to you, and the rest, hold on to it for a friend.
Yeah. I love that because I did shut my mouth for a long time after I realized I was giving out a lot of advice. We
went through a whole
throat chakra blocked.
I was like, my spiritual ego showing.
I'm an asshole, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been sitting here giving out all this bad advice, and then I shut my mouth for a while, and then I got encouraged by good friends to like, no, Becca, you do have valuable things to say. You are a great person to give advice or get advice from, depending on who it is. And so now I'm back to vomiting all my advice out there. Thank you for creating the platform for me to offer it up.
Love the way you vomit.
You're welcome.
Yummy.
Okay. What other advice does Rebecca White have for you today? Okay, so that was 3. Okay, floss your teeth. forever and always.
Bless
unless you're in public.
Up. Thank you.
I do it in public. It drives her crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I do it incognito style. It's like,
people can see you.
oh, well, I don't care. I care now because you care.
I just, it's
I get it.
not sanitary at a dinner table.
So here's perspective for you right here, because when I see somebody flossing in public, I feel so proud. I'm like, yes, another flosser. And I feel like excited to see them flossing, because I'm like, sweet, they're being a good influence on the world. They're showing people the flossing techniques that we need to be listening to. And then she's over here like, don't floss in public. And I get it, but I'm like, but I'm being a good influence.
You don't have to be a good influence in every action.
I guess my teeth will be a good influence, but
yeah, you are. You're a great influence just by smiling.
when I was adopted, and that was one of the appreciation things. When I was adopted, they took me to the dentist for the first time. I was 7 years old. I had 7 cavities. 7's my lucky number. I had 7 cavities, and then they went to work on fixing my teeth. And I was, I had a little grill. I think I have a picture of me, but I had a little grill, and so they got me braces and the whole shebang and got all my teeth fixed. I moved out when I was 17. I rebelled, and the last thing I was going to do was take care of my teeth. And so, I actually lived on the streets. I don't know if you know that, but I was living in a park for a little while there because I did not want to go. I ran away from home. And I never went back. And then I did not have the money to take care of my teeth. And I would get a cavity and then whatever. And I brushed all the time, but I never flossed. And they kept saying, like, you need to floss. So fast forward many years later, I lost a tooth that affected my smile. And then I was smiling like this. And if you guys know that I am cheesy lit up 95% of the day, I'm smiling always. And so that affected me big time. And then I donated eggs, got some money to fix my teeth. Once I got everything fixed as an adult in my mouth, and now it's all beautiful, I have committed to flossing every day with 3 different flossers. And you're going to get lectured as a child to floss your teeth. If you don't, fine, but I guarantee you, we will notice. Mm-hmm. We notice when people don't floss their teeth. Yes. I don't care how clean you think your teeth are. If you're not flossing, you don't have clean teeth. Mm-hmm. And it will affect you getting girls. Mm-hmm. Because we don't even look at people that don't floss their teeth.
Yes. It's like, okay, it's the first thing you see. In my mind, it's the first thing you see is someone who just doesn't take care of themselves. Like, I think this body is all we have. Take care of every single piece of it.
Amen.
And that includes your oral hygiene. If you're still rebelling against flossing your teeth, you're only hurting yourself. You're not getting at your parents anymore. Yeah. So don't forget to floss.
And Morgan's funny because, you have a boyfriend now, but, she was dating and she would meet this hot guy and come home and she'd be like, oh, he's so perfect. He's so hot, but he doesn't floss his teeth. I'm like, he's out.
It was
teeth.
like multiple people I was dating back to back. I'm like, what is up with these guys? What am I attracting right now? Because these breaths be stinking.
What you resist persists. Well, that's why you attracted me, because I'm over here with 3 different flossers flossing in public, and you're like, okay, too much. Yeah. But Joey, her boyfriend now,
thank you, Joey. Love you. Love that you floss.
He goes straight to the bathroom, brushes and flosses before he even goes near her.
Yes.
And then he comes out with fresh teeth and he's like, hey, baby.
He has mouthwash he keeps in the car. Aww. And he'll mouthwash before he walks in the door after work.
Did he do this before he met you? Or
I have no clue.
Yeah. I feel like maybe he did, because just getting to know
having
him.
The mouthwash in the car, having his cologne in the car.
Yeah, he's a clean guy.
He is.
But I think, of course, once you've expressed or I think I told him.
Did you?
I don't know.
Did you pull him aside when we first met? You're like, just so you know.
I think I just said it one day. I was like, just so you know, she likes really clean teeth.
Yes. I love
So I had to put that tip on here today. It's a very important tip. Floss your teeth.
That's great.
If you don't know how to floss, call me.
YouTube University.
I love helping people learn stuff like this. And so, there's these little stick flossers. Then there's a little hooky looking ones. And then there's regular floss. Mm-hmm. And mouthwash. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I floss twice a day. All right. My last tip is, if something becomes not fun, move on from it. Fun or nothing.
Fun or nothing, baby.
Woo! So people will challenge me on this because I get it, because it sounds like the opposite of discipline. And I've gone over this on my podcast, so this will be the quickest little version of what fun or nothing means to me. But it came from my past relationship where he would come over and kind of put his stress into our relationship, and I understood it. I understood what he was going through, but I was not going to dip in vibration with him. And so I would hold my vibration up high, and I had just discovered Abraham Hicks, and so I was really, really into this practice, and it worked because I stayed here and I was rude about it because I'm like, no, I'm going to have fun even though you're having a bad day. And because I stayed fun, he would come up with me or he would leave, on Fun or Nothing. I'd be like, hey, you can't have fun. This is a fun environment. I mean, I can be here and I can listen to your day and stuff like that, but I'm not going to dip. Like, you can stay down here if you need to stay down here. I'm not asking him to, but it works if you stay in a vibrational high when somebody else is low. And I do believe that's, I do deeply believe that's what Jesus was. He never saw illness. He only saw wellness. And not saying, I can do that, but in this particular time frame of my life, in that particular scenario, that's what I was holding down. And so then it was like, I started, I would get a little aggressive with it. I'd be like, no, I'm having fun, or I'm doing nothing. And, you can go, or you can come here and have fun. And the next day he'd be like, I just want to have fun. I'm like, I know, so come on back. And so that's where it originated from. And then it just kind of expanded from there in a lot of ways, because you meet people who every day they wake up and they're like, oh, I have to go to work. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun at all. And so you're not in alignment to your purpose. You are not doing what God sent you here to do. If you're dreary and you're waking up and you're like, ugh. So I know everybody can't just quit their job, and they're like, well, what about discipline? What about pushing through? What about perseverance? I'm not talking about that. I am very disciplined with my journaling. I'm very disciplined with my reminders. I'm very disciplined with my with my body, not jumping into conversations that don't serve me. I have a lot of discipline in my life, but I am very disciplined in the fact that if something is not making me feel good, I will walk away from it in a heartbeat. And I think, and that's just even a still very general way. There's so many ways to apply the Fun or Nothing rule to life, but if you aren't excited about it, then most likely you shouldn't do it.
Yes.
And that's different than the discipline excitement, because there is perseverance when it comes to working a business and it doesn't feel fun. You still push through because the fun is the discipline, right? Maybe you can explain that better.
I mean, with real estate, that wasn't my purpose.
Yeah.
And I was dreading every single day going into the office, making my phone calls, dealing with clients who were all horrendous. I mean, I attracted the worst clients.
Yeah. It was because you weren't meant to be there, though.
I wasn't meant to be there. And God was doing everything he could to push me out of real estate into what I'm meant to do, which is life coaching, which is public speaking and yoga.
And you get so fulfilled, and there's excitement there.
Goodness. I look forward to every conversation with all my clients.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Those are emotional indicators. And that's God's gift, I believe, to this earthly experience is you have an emotion of frustration. And if you don't follow it, then, it's going to get worse. And because God's giving you the emotion to say, this is where frustration comes. This is a frustration. This is frustrating to talk. I'm out of here. This isn't fun anymore. I'm gone.
Nothing. On to nothing.
But the original piece of frustration, I do believe that in my past relationship. I hope this is okay to talk about. I haven't really analyzed it myself yet or put it out in the world. But I knew a year prior to getting out of that relationship that I was supposed to leave it because I was frustrated. I was getting more frustrated in the relationship than I was feeling peace. But I didn't make the change. I didn't listen to the emotional indicators at the frustration stage. And so then 6 months later, now I'm hurt and I'm angry. And now I have even heavier emotional indicators. And then now I'm getting into blame, which is an even heavier emotional indicator. And it's just like God just saying you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. And then bad things happened. And so I couldn't even be surprised. I was just like, wow. When it hit me, I was like, I was told by God himself through my emotions to leave a year ago. And, now bad things are happening. And it was just like, okay, so you go get a job and you love it. And you're like, oh my God, this is my dream job. And then 1-2 years later, you're feeling frustrated, or you're going to work and you're tired. If you don't leave that job, and it sounds crazy to just up and leave your job. No, I need to work. No, if you don't leave your job, guess what? Now you're going to have a coworker annoying you, and then you're going to get in a fight, and then you're going to have troubles with your boss. Those emotional indicators are just going to get heavier and heavier and heavier, because you're being pulled away from this thing that you're doing that you're not designed to be doing. And it's like a torpedo. We're supposed to just constantly adjust.
Yes.
And I think it's okay to leave your job.
It is.
Don't be scared. Take the leap of faith.
Yep.
Go to a new job. It'll be there. You will be provided for if you follow the excitement or the opposite of excitement.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that so much. And I think this is a great time for me to say thank you for you helping me make that shift in my business from working for someone, working in real estate.
Honey.
We need to pause. My child needs to be let outside. Stand by. But, oh man.
Well, I'll go on about that,
Yeah.
my version of that, and then you come back and tell your.
Okay.
Okay, she's gonna let her dog out. Sunny, you're so needy and cute. So Morgan was oh yeah, I get crunk. When I moved in here, she would go clock in to her work, and then she would get frustrated. Is this what we're talking about? Is this the example?
This was not the example I was thinking of,
Oh.
but it's a good chat.
That okay?
It's a good
Which
chat.
part was it? Bella.
Our children.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
feeling the energy.
Yes. So I was going to bring light to how much you supported me financially
Oh,
from going from real estate into life coaching.
okay.
Because you moved in here and then you helped me take care of this household, pay my bills. You supported me financially so much. I think I totaled it up. Can I give the total? How much you
sure.
gave me last year?
Yeah,
17 grand.
you're welcome.
She gave me $17,000 last year, gifted,
You're not the only
over
one.
the course of the year.
Where did my money
It's
go?
insane.
To other people.
Yeah. I mean, if I was like, Becca, like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. Like, I'm really struggling right now. She's like,
Here's a grand.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give
It's
me a
relief.
grand.
Remember we talked earlier?
Yeah, that
I can
relief.
relieve you.
It's amazing. So thank you for believing in me, trusting in me, investing in me. It's huge.
Thanks for listening, girl. No, really, I am grateful that you let me give you that love, because if you didn't, then I don't really feel like we'd be here today. Like, I'm really proud
If
of
there's
you.
anything I can do, it's receive money.
Yeah.
If there's anything I'm super good at,
I love you.
receiving
Yes.
money.
Yes.
I love
Bring
receiving
on.
it.
Give
I
this
don't
girl some
necessarily
money.
love working for it. I love helping people, having conversations with people.
We don't chase, we attract.
But yes.
Oh, look, is that money falling from the sky?
Oh my gosh. Again? Yes.
I love you so much. But that was where, the root of it came from, my belief in you and seeing your excellence, but also powering through that, the proof of the fun or nothing. Because when I did believe in you, and I did see that, some of the lack of money came from this belief that you had to hustle. And I was there before in life. And hustling is good, you guys, but when you're hustling from an unaligned place, it's different. It's just like, I have to do this because I'm not worthy, because if I don't have 5 jobs, I'm not worthy of receiving money. And it's like, Morgan, why don't you take a break from working? I will support you financially, and feel what it feels like to not have to do it. And then work your way into doing it from a place of gratitude, from a place like, oh, I get to do this. And you were in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But
I think the difference was I had put my worth, my who I am, in my to-do list, in how much I achieved that day, how much I got done. And then I struggled so much with not feeling like I was ever doing enough.
Yeah.
And so if you're working from a place of trying to fulfill your worth, you're always going to feel like you're not enough and you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that she was like, stop, halt, wait until you feel sure of who you are in every moment.
Yeah.
And then step into your power, into your business with that power, that energy of I can do this, and this is ease. This it feels good.
Ease.
Yeah.
Ease, opposite of dis-ease.
Yes.
Dis-ease.
So was that number 5?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Okay. Say it one more time.
Oh. If something becomes not fun, move on from it.
Okay.
Fun or nothing.
Yes. And so the Fun or Nothing podcast, that's what inspired this podcast. So thank you. And thank you for setting up this beautiful scene, this beautiful set. So she has her Fun or Nothing sign, and we interchange
Just
the
switch
two.
them out, yeah.
Switch them out. We use the same set.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
Love it.
I have one more thing on my heart from the last thing you said.
Yeah.
It was, there is reason why I pour into people more than I would others. And it's, we are supposed to have transactional relationships. And when I was giving you all of that, it was because I'm a giver and I love you, but also because you gave me so much in return. And I just want to say thank you, because it wasn't just money, it was words of affirmation and all the things and the reminders and stuff like that. But Morgan matched me in every single way. So when I moved in here, the things that I'm good at, Morgan would step up and try to be good at them too. And so now we're both working at the same goal and the same vision. And I'm just grateful for that, because you made me feel valuable. And I was coming out of somewhere where I didn't really feel valuable. Not in a lot of ways, but I needed that from you. I needed that support in that way, and that's more than money to me. So the money is like, boom, take it. Yeah. But the value that I was getting in return was even letting me give it to you and letting me love you and all those ways. So I just want to say thank you.
I love you.
Yeah. Still, that's why we're here a year later, still getting along. We don't
Honestly,
argue.
No.
Ever.
We communicate.
We communicate. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. If I see her with pent-up resentment, which is so light and baby, I poke her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, you better get it out now. And then she'll slam a thing, and then she'll be like, fine. And then yeah.
And I let it out, and then
I'm like, do you feel better now? She's like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's so good. We just have such a great way of handling conflict. I love it.
We do. Sometimes worst
not so case scenario, we'll wrestle it out.
Yeah, we'll take each other down.
Take it down.
Yeah.
And it only takes like 3 minutes, and we're both like,
oh, you feel better now?
Yeah. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, no broken bones here.
All right, so we have a 7-minute chit chat. We're going to put our little timer on, and 7 minutes starting meow purr. Okay.
Purr.
Shut up, Macy. Purr.
I know. I stole it. I love it. I use it all the time. Everybody purr.
So 7-minute chit chat. Did you want to talk about how I would go into that hustle mentality, and then...
That's a cute story.
It is a cute story. And then you'd help me get into alignment by...
I had to get aggressive.
Yeah.
So when I moved in, Morgan, reminded me a lot of myself. It's hard not to project your experience into a younger person's experience. It really was. So that was good practice for me, because I had to pull it back and be like, no, let her live her experience. But at the same time, there were those moments where I was like, no, I have to step in because I'm not doing my duty as a friend if I don't. And so these are those kind of moments. So I'm not like overbearing all the time, but Morgan would go into her office and she would be high flying all day. She worked on herself. She works on her body. She does this. Her checklist is insane. Every day she's doing this large checklist of things. I would remind her that she did a lot in that day if I needed to. But she would go into her office, and then she would try to make a video or something with her business, and then she would start to feel frustration, and then she'd come out like, it's not working out, my internet's wrong or whatever. And I would see that frustrated Morgan come out of the room, and I'd be like, stop what you're doing, go get in alignment. But the training that she had, the conditioning that she had, I need to work. I've already been in alignment all day.
Yeah, I don't have enough time to go get into alignment again.
I was just in alignment. Like, I need to work now. And I'm just like, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You're working from an unaligned place. And it's
so funny to look back at this and just like, wow, I was really just like running into a wall. Like, boom, boom.
But I did it too for a decade till I broke. And I was like, wow, this hustle shit is not working for me. Like, maybe I'm not designed to be this, business model person. I don't know, but whatever this is not working. So I had to switch it up, change gears. And I just saw that in you. And so I'm like, no, switch it up, change gears. And so I would go in the room, and sometimes I'd have to lecture her. I would walk in the office, I'd be like, Morgan, You need to stop working right now and go get into alignment. And she would rebel and be like, no, I need to work. And then I'd be like, Morgan.
Yeah.
That's the sternest I ever got. But anyway, she'd be like, fine. And she would come out of the room. And one day she comes out of the room and she immediately goes to Alexa and puts on
Legally Blonde musical.
Legally Blonde musical. Oh, Lord, what had I done? Alexa heard me.
Oh. Alexa's about to play.
No, I love it. I love it. We like to sing musicals and things. So anyways, she sings the whole musical, dances around the house. I mean, it was a whole spiel. I'm just sitting back like.
Was that the first time you saw me?
I have never seen
Legally Blonde the musical.
Never seen you do that. She sings the whole musical. I mean, she is just like prancing. Within minutes, she's high flying, and then she goes back into her office and knocks out the project like that. And then she comes out. And she's like, "Oh, thank you," And that concept is, if you're vacuuming and you don't plug it in, you're going to get really frustrated, and you're going to vacuum and keep vacuuming, but nothing's working. So it's an Abraham Hicks metaphor, but plug in your vacuum first, so that way you're actually getting work done.
Yes.
As you're working.
Yes.
Yeah, and you did that.
I love that story, and now it's like a cheat code. Like if I ever need to raise my vibration, if I'm having a poo-poo day, like, no, turn on Legally Blonde the musical, go get high flying. Yep. And then get to work.
Yep. And I know I have that tactic in my pocket. If I see her not having a good day, it's I can go put it on for her and be that reminder and be like, hey, and I put it on for her, and then all of a sudden she doesn't even remember what she was frustrated about. Instantaneous.
I love Legally Blonde the musical.
One day
so great.
We'll make a video of more. Actually, I might even have a video. I think I videotaped you.
Have a good video. I think I still had puffy eyes from crying. Yeah. I think you got that.
Yeah. I'll try to find it for you guys.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 43 seconds left.
Well, I can give a little. Yeah, you chit chat. What about that experience? Was fun for you?
Really, just. These days are fun for me. Like, I'm so grateful that now I go into work. The difference from then to now, it feels so much better. Yeah. I love everything I have going on right now. Yay. It feels cohesive. I feel so strong. I believe in myself more than ever. I know I'm well equipped for my clients. So it's a whole different life. Yeah. So, and I credit you. Because you are the one who changed my life.
My work here is done. I can die in peace.
Nope, I need you.
on a tree. In
I still need you. Go get impaled.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and thank you for saying that, because that's all I really care about. Like, I we love in the way we want to be loved. And I would have loved that. I would have loved a friend to come and slap me around, and maybe they were there and I didn't see them. I don't know. Maybe I was pushing those friends away, but I would have loved for somebody to slap me around and be like, you are working so freaking hard. Yes. And you're
not getting anywhere.
Not getting anywhere. I still had no money in my bank account. It's just like this model of life, I'm not getting it. And I know there's a bunch of people out there doing. I know a lot of people who are working every single day and they have not gotten anywhere still 3 to 5 years later. Eventually it's going to click in your brain. Holy moly, this isn't working. You have to try something else. And my desperate attempt to try something else was quitting all my jobs and clocking into the fun or nothing way of life. And then boom, I got money. I got a millionaire man who was amazing in a lot of ways besides his money. But I say millionaire man, but I'm really working on it being more clear that he wasn't just, I attracted a millionaire man. I attracted a really good man.
He's great.
Who took good care of me. Yes. It was like so let's say I attracted my own money before I met him, $30,000. It's not millions, but I had for the first time $30,000 when I just 2 months prior quit working. Now I have 30 grand in my bank account. And then a month after that, I meet Frank, and I have this amazing love in my life. So it's like all the checklists of things I was working so hard to have came the moment I dumped my jobs. Why wouldn't I want to run the world and be like, no, you guys just get in alignment and everything will come to you?
Seriously.
Why not?
Yes. Yeah. So good. I'm glad you went through that. I know it was hard to go through, but in the end,
boom.
Yeah. And we're not near the end at all, but
no.
We're on our way, and we're better now than we've ever been. And this event, September 7th, is going to be the best event that's ever been.
Yep. I'm going to prove my worth.
Shut up. Oh, well, I love you. This is so
I love you
fun.
too, girl.
Thank you for being on my podcast.
I'm obsessed. I
Isn't
support
this a
you
fun
in
structure?
every single way. When she came out of the room and she's like, I have an idea for a podcast, 1, 3, 5. I was like, that is genius and so perfect for you. Order your sign now, and boom, here it is.
Here it
It's
is.
so beautiful.
All her glory.
Yeah, the on-air sign came.
Yes.
Everything. It's just beautifully flowing in, and
It feels so effortless.
I know.
That's how it should
it
feel.
should feel effortless.
I love it. And I love you so much.
I love you. I'm going to high hugs.
I know.
High five hug. Thank you, Morgan, for
Yes.
everything.
Thank you, Becca.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
What an amazing era of our lives.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how much longer you're going to be in this house, but this year,
Yeah.
I know it's been a tough year for you.
I needed you.
It's been a freaking great year for me.
I know.
I don't know
We
about you,
switched.
but I just love having you around. Stay here. You know,
actually
just
been
stay.
It's been the toughest year of my life, and
Yeah.
doing it with you made it a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I've had some tough moments, but this is like the toughest year of my life. And maybe that's what a midlife crisis is. And I'm here for it. I'm okay with that. But I like that you're in my life too, because you're an advocate.
I'm in a
for
quarter life crisis.
No, you're not.
We're both in crisis.
No, anyway, you're gonna get a crisis in the future.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but you get to like be there on the other side of it. And
Yes.
I'm catching back up here. But like, a year from now, when we're on an island sipping cocktails, we're gonna giggle about my bad year or my
Yeah.
bad portion of a year.
Yeah.
And I love that I get to be on this journey with you, because we can giggle about it later
Yeah,
while we
and
sip cocktails.
Get through it together.
Yes.
We're here for each other.
Yes, yes. And we're still
love it.
working on continuously growing our tribe,
Yes.
and discernment, and figuring out who we want to be around, and how we manage our relationship with others. And, I might have a friend that she kind of annoys her, and I don't know that, but it's okay. It's like, let me know, and I, won't bring that friend around as much. That was kind of an extreme example, but,
Yeah.
we work with each other in that way.
We do. And it's the best compromise
Yeah.
of a relationship. So it's awesome. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap this puppy up.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 1357 podcast. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, do everything you can, please, to help get this podcast out there even more. Share it with your friends. And then follow us on Instagram at 1357 podcast and TikTok as well. Also, if you're a creator and you are interested in being on the podcast, email me 1357.pod@gmail.com. Would love to have you on either virtually or in the studio here in our home. And let's have fun and have a great conversation. Hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Peace.